Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage, and we are working on the 39 Forgotten Hot Rod project. You guys have been yelling at us because we haven't been working on it. Been trying to get the 34 kind of closer to being on the road. We're on the home stretch with that, so I've been sort of putting this on the back burner. But we're going to do a little quick update on this. One of the things we need to do that's been super annoying with this car as I've been tinkering with the wiring is the hood is just like literally thrown on the car and not bolted on. You guys may remember when we bought the car and got it out of the old junkyard, the hood was all crooked. Somebody had tried to rip the hood open and it bent one of the hinges. So I had scavenged one of the hinge pieces off of the parts car that we got with this, and we're going to work on getting that put on, get the hood bolted on, hopefully get the hood hinging again and latching again, which will be really good, and I don't have to worry about getting help to pull the hood off every time. So let's get started. All right, so we just I gotta change this out. Once the hood's bolted on, I can replace this whole piece. So should be able to just grab it back there, lift, and stand it up against the grill and like up here. All right, so first thing, we got the hood off. This is kind of the first time really looking at this close, but you can see how this, I'm trying not to get a shadow there, but you can see how this hinge piece here, where the hinge bolts in, there's almost no gap there in the hood, but you go over to this one over here, and there is like, I could stick my finger in the gap. So not only was the hinge itself bent that was mounted there, but the mounting point is also bent. So we're going to have to work on getting that bent back, probably use some persuasion with a BFH or something, but that's going to be one of the first things that we need to do here. All right, old school BFH. I actually brought it back pretty easily. You can see there's a little tear right there. I might want to weld that up just so it doesn't rip. It's pretty much same as that one. It's touching all the way down in.
If you hit the same spot that it got bent from,
yeah,
it should put it back in the same form.
Looks good. Good idea, Dad. All right, so we got these two brackets here. I'm gonna try and use this one as a guide. This is our original bracket. Turns out our brackets that I pulled off the parts car are just as bad and are really rusty and probably worse than this. So I'm gonna try and actually bend this bracket back. You can see it's in a freaking U. It's not supposed to be, it's more supposed to be straight like this and have a little tweak to it. So try and save some of this old stuff that was on the car. So we're just gonna do some old-fashioned vice repair here. And just bend it. Hey, look at that, already back in the, looks better than it did. A lot better. In there. Sheesh. This thing is a mess. Okay, so we just,
See what I'm saying?
so we got to bend this tab out towards me.
It's straight up
Okay.
and down to the floor.
Yeah, and it's got,
Because this one is straight to the floor, and that one's like this.
okay, it's bent in like that.
So
Okay.
just that flat top piece needs to be bent
That way.
out.
Okay.
But the rest of it looks semi-close to the other one. It doesn't look perfect, so it's semi-close.
Well, we could mount it and kind of tweak it a little bit on the car then too. So we gotta,
Well, I would like put that top little tab in place so the other piece, and then put
no.
I saw, see Jimmy has most of that stuff hanging up on the wall, and it's got dust on it, he never uses it.
I think it actually used to bend right there down. If you put the adjustable on it, it takes this bend out. So we gotta probably actually pound in there to get it to
15 minutes.
That's what that sound was. Is my phone telling me I have a meeting in 15 minutes so I don't miss it. This probably still needs to go more. Said it was like 90 to...
90 to the floor.
But let's try that because it might... The way we have it mounted may not be exactly how it sits. That looks a lot better. I know it's wavy as can be, but...
Well, the thing looks good, but
This
all the way down at the hinge, it's got to come in.
down here...
Yep, that whole piece has got to get turned up straight. But you're probably close enough.
that we could bolt it up and see if we could get it to...
Because this one sits like this, and this one's like this.
Okay.
If I'm looking at this one to the car, it's sitting just at a teeny bit of an angle to the car. This one's sitting at
Further of an angle.
further out. But
So we could probably bolt this up,
put it on and just push it over,
just tweak it over a little bit. Yeah. Okay.
or take a take a hammer and just hit it right here after it's bolted on. Because this is at more of an angle than that one.
I could see it because it's got like a twist. It's got like, I could actually see the bend right here where it was tweaked. So we just gotta put...
This one's tilted out a little bit, but not near that. But
Okay.
it
Well, I'll find some hardware and get it bolted up in here, and then we'll move it around a little more. All right, so we got the hood hinges all pretty much straightened out, and I got the hood flipped upside down. I used some of this pig mat as a shout out to Jim Snow. He had his son stop by and give me, I already had some pig mat that I get from Eastwood, but he stopped by and gave me a huge bag of it. So thank you, Jim, for that, and your son for dropping that off. I'm already putting it to use, but I'm using it for padding here for this hood on the bench, so that we don't have any slag dragging across the top of the hood. But what I need to do is get some of this hardware out of here on the inside of the hood, and I thought it'd be easier to flip it upside down on the table. I also got to replace that piece, but I'm hunting for that piece. I can always do it on the car, but I want to get this trim since I have it. It's all broken and the handle here. I gathered, somehow I have two of them, typical of me, but I have two of them now, but I gathered together a complete hood trim and the little V8 latch for the front of the hood in my travels in Hershey and different places. So I have that, so we're gonna try and swap that on next, and then hopefully once I get an extra set of hands again, I can put this hood on for the final time. All right, I think this hardware is probably gonna just break off, but I'm not gonna be too delicate because we're not saving this trim on the top here. It goes all the way back to right to this bolt here. Of course it's spinning because it's stuck, so we're gonna have to just extract that. By extract I mean get the cutoff grinder out and split it. No time for messing with that. Not gonna even mess with a lot of this hardware because we know it's just gonna fight us. So we want to save that little washer type piece there. Goes over the pinch well to the hood. But like I said, I'm not gonna waste time trying to extract bolts that we're not using anyways. I'm just gonna grind the heads off and put new hardware in them all the way up through. It'll save me some time. So keep working our way up. that one actually loosened. And put about 100 hours out of that. Saved me a trip to the toolbox. There we go. One piece. Ugh. All right, got her off. All right, got our new nose piece here we're gonna put on. And luckily, some of the screws were reusable in the front. Alright, got the top trim on here. I'm going to slip this down in, and it's of course a tight fit. Wiggle it down. And then we got to put our pin back in, which is somewhere. This little pin that goes into this linkage. Like I said, we're going to be replacing this rotten bit after I can find one. I think a friend has one actually in their stash I saw one time. When I was buying some stuff from Patty and Tim, I think they had some stuff. Patty's dad had a big stash, and I bought a bunch of this. Some of this trim actually came from them, and I think I saw this brace piece there. So rather than me spend 5 hours making the pieces, I'll just buy them from them next time I see them. All right, so you got the pin in. Latch should all start moving then once we get all that connected and be on our way. Alright, so I got the hood mounted by myself. It at least opens and shuts, but we need to adjust a little bit more when I have some extra hands to help me out. But at least it holds itself up. It's not falling on my head. I don't have to take the whole hood off every time I want to access the engine bay. So I want to replace this front pot metal little trim piece in the center of the grill. I scrapped the one from the parts car as well that we got way back when we first bought all these cars, and I have it stashed. So I need to get this one off. Of course, all the screws are like super rusty. It's already broken, so I'm pretty much gonna just like break it around the screws and then spin it off. And then the other thing I need to do is this front center bar is twisted a little bit on the grill, so I'm gonna try and do some persuasion with some adjustable wrench and see if we can tweak it over a little bit. I've already checked and the hood does latch okay, but this grill bar is bent a little bit. So I'm gonna do what I can. We're just trying to make this thing a little less shitty, but there's only so much we can do on a car like this without totally redoing everything. So I'm gonna get this bar off here with the pry bar and wreck and do whatever we need to do to get this trim off so we can put some fresh stuff on. Small wrecking bar. Now, this stuff's old pot metal, so luckily it just kind of peels off. But I can also kind of pry my... Ooh, that's working pretty good actually. There we go. Pry our center bar, I didn't even have to get it adjustable. Now I have reproduction clips for all these stainless trim here, so I'll have to grab them shortly as well and get them replaced so the trim pieces aren't falling off. There we go. Maybe we'll get lucky. Oh. Alright. I did not need to be wrecking things with this one at least. Okay. Wow. I guess just because it's this pot metal, it doesn't really get rusty in there. I don't know. Got lucky. Okay. Put our trim. Back on. A perfectly shitty piece of trim that matches the car. Just a little less shitty. Alright, so of course it's raining, so don't mind the sound of the dripping in the background. It's been raining every day here. So these are the little clips that you use. These are reproduction ones that I got from Max or Bob Drake or one of them. It's for the grill clips. They slide inside of the groove in the clip, and these little ends here push in. Now what I found is these are made not quite right. They're actually sprung out just a little bit, so I usually give them a little tweak with the pliers first before I put them in, but a lot of these are missing the clips at the top, and the grill bars are starting to get bent and messed up. So you kind of drop it in the groove. And this one's just the top one, so you get the two pieces of wire in, push straight in, and it'll clip in like that, and then they stay tight. So you can see we got a bunch of these bars are just been flopping around, and while I'm here in the front just taking care of some other stuff, we might as well fix a handful of these. I got one grill bar at the very bottom over here that's missing the trim, and then the bars, the weld broke at the bottom, so I need to get the welder out one day and fix that, but today is not the day. We will address it another day. Just want to get these grill bars that are hanging here clipped in. Alright, those are all good. It's good. Get this one here that's missing almost every bar.
So they just rust and the wire just kind of falls out over the years.
All right, so got the hood all mounted up, got it latched, and it's pretty good for now. Of course, we got the front trim and the latch here, and then the trim in the front of the grill all replaced, which has been bugging me for a while now. I got one grill bar that I need to tack weld and put a piece of trim on, which you can do another day. But the big thing was I want to get this hood mounted back on the car and bolted up so at least I could open and shut it, and the hood wasn't like falling off the car every time we tried to move it around or if I needed to get under the engine bay. So this is a car that I've been kind of in a rut with just because it has a lot of not fun work to do on it with some wiring and just stupid stuff. I've kind of been just not feeling like working on the car as of late, so I thought this would be a good little project. Like I always talk about small victories, this was a small victory that I've been meaning to do, and wasn't something that was too labor intensive. Now I do need to adjust the hood a little bit better. I noticed the bracket in the back that was spot welded to the hood for the rear hinges, from it being all bent, how you saw us kind of pound that back into shape. The spot welds were starting to break there, and I noticed when I opened and shut the hood that there was a lot of movement there, and the pinch welds starting to come unwrapped there. So I need to wrap that back around, get the MIG welder out, and probably put a handful of tack welds on there just to keep everything tight so that from opening and shutting the hood it doesn't totally separate and cause an issue. But overall, I'm happy that we even have a hood that opens and shuts again. When we first got this car, couldn't even open the hood at all, and we had to basically like break some of the bolts and stuff like that off to get the hood off. So this is definitely a big step for this car. So next handful of things that I have to do on this car is work on the charging system. I gotta get the voltage regulator wired up. We have to just button up the last little bit of wiring for the turn signals and all that stuff. And we are on the home stretch for wiring and all that goes. And then it's really just the last little odds and ends, adjusting the brakes and doing some odds and ends on the suspension and going over everything. And then of course the glass. I got to get some glass ordered for this thing. Our local glass shop has, I'm not sure if they've opened up yet because of the virus stuff, but I found a place on eBay that sells full glass kits, so I think I'm going to just go with them, order some new seals, we'll get some glass in here, and that'll be another big step. But we're still moving on the Forgotten Hot Rod project. I appreciate you guys following along with all these projects, and thank you guys for giving me crap to work on this thing again in the comments because it made me feel bad, and we got something done on the car, which is very important. So thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later.